Hi and welcome to The Winning Factor. I'm Alan Aitken, and on this show each week we take a look at some upcoming races in Hong Kong and we try to work out the ingredient of the race that we might look back on later as having been vital to finding the winner. Well, it's the final Sha Tin meeting of the season and the final Winning Factor show of the season also. And more of that in a moment, a couple of takeaways that might help you early next season. But the first race we're going to take a look at is race 2, and our winning factor here, the tempo. And this is a class 4, 1400 metres, and it looks to be quite an open race. A number of contenders. Anomaly should appreciate some extra distance. Super Mission looks suited by a slower tempo this time. Harmony Win-Win caught the eye last start. And down in the weights, I thought there were chances to Amazement, Forever City and Maximise Heart, who gets a good draw this time. But mostly I'm interested in the chances of Maximise Heart and Harmony Win-Win. The latter, the mount of the red-hot apprentice Jerry Chow. And mentioning Jerry and his in-form riding, well, that gives me an off-ramp into having a look at the performance of our Hong Kong jockeys over the full season. And of course, there are different ways to look at how jockeys perform. We're used to seeing riders ranked by wins or by win percentages. Joe Moreira, a worthy champion this year on both of those scores. But as bettors, what is more useful to us is knowing which riders get results over and above the quality of their mounts. And we use the betting market to work that out. Now, once again, Moreira has had a stellar season on this metric as well, but Jerry Chow, in his first full Hong Kong season, has headed the list as the most profitable rider to follow. With 7 wins from his last 20 mounts, Chow is in hot form, and I think Harmony Win-Win has just struck his form at the right time for this race as well. We're going to take a look here at his latest offering, race 750. He's in green and white diamonds, white sleeves from gate 3. Now this is a 1200 metre race last start, and he's chasing home behind the very promising Blaze Warrior, a hot favourite later in the day on Sunday. And Harmony Win-Win gets a nice trailing position for Chow in running here. He is a little keen at times, but he still finds the line. He's held up for clear room in the first half of the home straight before getting out and hitting the line well for third, with Wednesday night's winner, Fireball, keeping him out of second. Now up to 1400 metres, and his ability to race a little bit handy is a tactical talent that I think is going to come in very useful in this race, because when we take a look at the map for Sunday's event, what really jumps out at you is the lack of speed amongst the runners. Now, Super Mission, he's been going forward lately, and I expect he will again, this time perhaps not having to work quite as hard to get forward as he has been. Harmony Win-Win and Maximise Heart, they look the others certain to be suited by what seems almost certain to be a soft tempo. Now you might look at Maximise Heart's past performances and say, well, hang on, this horse came from last start over 1650 metres at Happy Valley. Why are we thinking that he's going to be up on the speed? Well, there's a couple of reasons, and I could show you that last start video replay, but I'm going to go back into mid-season to show you something a bit more relevant to this race, I think. And this is in December, and in this you see him, he's drawn a low gate, gate 1 in fact, with yellow and blue colours, and he jumps well, sits behind the leader, and it's an incident-free run for him here. And you'll note he has blinkers on here. He also has the same jockey he has on Sunday, and he sits behind the eventual winner Super 10, and he gets his chance in the home straight as the leader rolls off. But Super 10 slips clear, and Maximise Heart is left to duel out the minor placings, finishing a creditable close 4th. And that's the kind of in-running position I would expect to see this time from Maximise Heart. He has an inside draw, he has the same jockey as he had there, and he has blinkers going back on. All of that should put him in the right place. But for the tip, I'm going for, in race 2, Harmony Win-Win, his winning factor, the tempo. I think he is one of the few in the race with the tactical speed to be on the pace, and as we saw there, chased home a very good horse in Blaze Warrior, And I think Jerry Chow in his current form is going to make all the right decisions on this horse. The other race I want to take a look at is race 9 and our winning factor here, the map. And unlike the second race, I don't think we're dealing with quite so many chances this time. And John Size trained Drops of God. He's sure to be at the front of most discussions. And his main opposition, I think, will come from a horse he's clashed with twice recently, I'm a Single Man, as well as the very consistent Dublin Star. And just like the jockeys, we can take a look at the trainers in a number of different ways. Of course, barring some kind of loaves and fishes miracle, Casper Founds will be the champion trainer this season on the number of wins. He lags behind John Size on the strike rates, but once again, it's more useful to us as punters to look at who's punching above their weight when it comes to market expectations. And as you see here on this table, there are quite a few surprises. Ben O'Young, for example, I don't think many would have seen him as the most profitable trainer in Hong Kong this season, but he has been. And Francis Loy also works above the expectations of his runners, but Size, despite what is usually a very heavy expectation from the 11 times champion trainer, he still manages to be right up there on profitability. And he saddles up Drops of God here, a 3-year-old with some promise, who has met another promising 3-year-old, I'm a Single Man, trained by Tony Cruz, on a couple of occasions lately, and we're going to look at both of those runs. First of all, we'll go back to race 7:35, and this is 2 starts ago. Drops of God, the first home, but both horses had unlucky stories. Now, I'm a Single Man, he's in orange and purple with white sleeves. He's outpaced from his wide gate and gets back in the field, while Drops of God in the red and pink colours, he gets caught 3 wide towards the front end of the race. Now, around the 600 metres, there's a bit of shuffling through the field. I'm a Single Man gets a relatively minor check and is still last as they turn for home. Then he takes a while to get wound up, but you'll see him charging home late into 4th placing. While Drops of God, he's had the tough run, he's on the speed and competes bravely for the win, but that extra effort really counts over the final stages, and he is weakening near the post. Now, 2 weeks ago, these horses met once again, 1200 metres at Sha Tin, and this is race 785, and a similar race. This time they're drawn, both of them inside and beside each other, but you see here Drops of God jumps a little slowly. He gets a squeeze in the first 100 metres, and he and I'm a Single Man are similarly positioned as a result in the early stages before Moreira chases Drops of God through to get closer. And the race is quite straightforward really for I'm a Single Man. He just needs the runs to come, and they do. And he drives home strongly again for Neil Callan and is a worthy winner with Drops of God. After that extra little bit of work after missing the start, he has to settle for 3rd placing. Now, there is a weight turnaround in favour of Drops of God this time, but I think more importantly, we're going to see him with a much better head start on his main rival in this race on Sunday. When we take a look at the map, although he was a bit slow out at the start last time, Drops of God had not really shown that previously, and he led all the way, in fact, in his debut win before he saw him wide and on the pace last time. So I think he's going to be going forward here in a race where there isn't really a lot of speed. By contrast, I'm a Single Man, well, we haven't seen much in the way of tactical speed from him basically the entire time he's been in Hong Kong, and nor have we seen that at any stage recently from Dublin Star, the horses I see as the other major chance in the race. So the tip in race 9, Drops of God. His winning factor, the map. I think this boils down to 3 horses. 2 of them don't have a lot of tactical pace. I think Drops of God has the tactical speed to take advantage of that, and he has the statistical power of John Size behind him as well. Well, that's it for the winning factor this week, and in fact for this season. I hope you've got something from it. We'll see you next time.